What is going on, everyone? Anthony here, and welcome back to another video here on Let's Talk Resident Evil. And we're still covering brand new Resident Evil 4 stuff from the new edition of Game Informer. We have a bunch of new details and a bunch of new screenshots. So we're going to get into the screenshots as I discuss some of the new stuff in the last video. Let's get right into it. The first screenshot here is of Ashley Graham, looking scared, looking worried, and it looks like she's in the castle just from the background and the window. That's what it reminds me of. It looks very similar to the same area where we saw the last screenshots of Ashley, where she again was looking very scared or worried. So I'm a big fan of Ashley in this game, at least how she looks so far. I don't know how they're gonna, develop the character or do more stuff with her. We'll see. But so far, looks pretty good. So let's go on to the next screenshot here. So this screenshot is what looks like the cabin section right here. And you can tell by the bridge that they're walking across and the big doors that are open. And you can see that they're kind of walking through, surrounding the cabin. So this looks like it's shortly after the encounter with Luis and Ashley, which is what we saw in the trailer. And we're going to see a little bit more in the screenshots here. Now, in the new details, they mentioned the barricading of windows playing a part in the house section. They call it the house section, but we call it the cabin section as RE4 fans. And I think that's what they meant in the article. So this is something where you fight them off with Luis in the cabin until you kill a certain amount of enemies, or maybe this time it might be sequenced a little bit different. But I wonder if Ashley's just going to hide like in the original, or she's actually going to help barricade or do something, actually, help out in this fight, because normally she just hides upstairs in a closet and Leon and Luis do all the work. So we'll see how this comes through in the actual remake, but this looks great. I just love the fact that we are getting, more of the darker and grittier environments that come out a little bit more through this game, where it just doesn't look gray. It looks a lot more rich in detail, and that just shows what the RE engine can do. Now, moving forward here, though, with that cabin section in mind, we also get a look at the church. Now, if you look here, this is a shot from up top with the Ganados coming in, and it looks like they're looking for Leon and Ashley at this point. This is pretty cool because I think that the fight that leads outside of the church will also lead indoors as well, where normally you don't really have to fight enemies in the church in the original. This would be a really cool thing where the fight kind of goes from the graveyard cemetery all the way to the actual church doors, and you're fighting the mob as they surround you. And that's one thing they did mention in the article, is that they are harder to kill as they group up in mobs. And of course, you can also do executions now that stop the parasites from actually popping out. So you can stop the parasites from being a problem if you can catch the on-ground execution. And that's something that, again, is a brand new element to that. But the church, we haven't seen much of it yet, but just seeing this right here, again, it looks like that they're going to have some kind of combat that goes within the church, which is pretty cool. Now, this right here is a shot of Ashley looking down at Leon. And this could easily be a segment where Leon has to catch her, or they're separated so she can unlock a door. One thing that some people are discussing with the recent screenshots and gameplay that Game Informer put out was the look of the rain. I myself don't mind the rain. When I saw it in the gameplay and it was in motion, it looked fine. It didn't look tacked on or anything. And in the screenshots, it looks fine as well. Again, we know that there was going to be some kind of weather change or some kind of, day into night shift or vice versa with this game, because they can do so much more with it. And the fact that they added the rain in here is pretty cool. I'm not sure where this is. You see little rooftops of the village, so this still looks like the village, but it could easily be the castle as well, or close to the castle, just looking at where Ashley's looking out. But we'll see where that is. Or it could just be the church, because we just saw a screenshot of the church, so maybe this is when they're escaping the church. So it can be either one, but that's just what I'm taking from this screenshot. Looks pretty cool, though. So this right here is a screenshot of Leon behind Ashley. You can notice by the windows there, they have some boards that it looks like are ready to be barricaded. It looks like Ashley is walking towards the window. I wonder if you can command her to barricade or if she just does it automatically to help you. That's what it looks like here as she's like going forward. This can easily be another screenshot of the cabin section because I know that the Game Informer guys were able to play that, so it makes sense if we're seeing more from that. And it's cool. If she can do more in this section, that's really cool. I also like the use of the flashlight and the fact that, you know, again, it's very dark outside. You can notice some stuff in the corner there. It looks like the insignia is on the wall there. It's a little dark, but you can see that hanging above the barrels there. So I wonder if the cabin's going to look a little bit different. It looked a little bit more of a grander scale. It looked like it had a wider area where the table was, and the upstairs is probably a little bit more enhanced as well. So who knows how this fight will play out, but it's pretty cool that we're seeing it return. This right here is Leon and Ashley outside of a window. It could perhaps be the castle, like I mentioned before, just looking at the structure of the building here. But Leon looks worried or concerned, while Ashley's just kind of like, what's going on? What's the intel? So at this point, this can be them hiding. It looks like they're kind of hiding, or they're trying to be stealth, as Leon is kind of either looking at something going on, or maybe it's a cutscene when he looks in through the window. I wonder how much of the elements are going to be stealth within Resident Evil 4 when you're with Ashley, because we know a little bit more about her mechanics. You can't tell her to go hide, and she doesn't just stay in one spot. So when you tell her to stay behind, she'll try to move to a spot where there's less danger, but she also doesn't have a health meter now. So if she gets down, she can be revived, so it's not a instant death, but you can still revive her. But after that revive, she'll only have like another wheel of damage that she can take, and then it's over. So there is no health bar, but I think having Ashley at least not so much help, but like is able to be a little bit more assisting Leon when it comes to some of these sections, or she just won't. They didn't mention anything in this article about her having any weapons or anything to help Leon. So I wonder how each section we'll see if Ashley does more to help Leon as we go on. But very interesting screenshot. Leon looks pretty concerned here. And this screenshot right here is of the Ganado coming towards Leon with the torch, the classic torch Ganado. And as you can see, the little symbol next to Leon there, where Ashley is hiding or ducking behind him, so she's not on attack. And you can notice the windmill on the top left. I wonder if there's going to be some medallions in there. We know there's going to be a bunch of side missions now and little side quests with puzzles and stuff to reward the player. So that's also a piece of info that's cool. But again, I think the rain looks good. The Ganados look awesome, and this looks like, again, we're seeing more push in the RE engine. It seems like with every Capcom game, they find ways to expand it and make it look even better. So this looks awesome, and I can't wait to see how long the rain will stay in the game, because it does stick around for a little bit, but then kind of goes away. So I wonder if they're going to increase the amount of rain we get. Who knows, but looks pretty good so far. This is similar to the screenshot we got back in October where Leon is face-to-face with Luis. Now, in the gameplay little trailer that they put out, which showcases a little bit of the gameplay in the cemetery, and Ashley is walking up to them while they're having this, you know, disagreement, because, again, I don't think Leon thinks he can trust him, and this is before they overtake the cabin and we have to do that fight. So this is pretty cool. I want to see more into this cutscene, or maybe a little bit more into this dialogue. I can't wait to see more of Luis and Leon, and that would be cool if he stuck around a little bit more with the team-up segments of the game. But again, I know they want to space it out. But again, what we saw from the new screenshots here that we'll be seeing in a bit, it looks like there's going to be another layer to Leon and Luis, and you'll see what I mean in a second here. But can't wait to see that cabin section. This right here is Leon and Ashley against two parasites. The rain's coming down, Ashley's following Leon, and it looks like Leon has a couple flash grenades ready for the parasites. As we know, flash grenades take them out instantly, and this is Leon up against two parasites. Not a good situation, but if you have the flash grenades, this is the way to go. Again, you can see the rain pouring down on Leon and Ashley. It just looks really good. This just looks really effective. And again, I know the screenshots might not be in the highest resolution because, again, these are from a magazine, so don't take this for the final product and how it's going to look. And these are just still images. The parasites definitely look a lot more better this time around because, again, the graphics can just improve. You can see there's multiple layers of tentacles. It looks like, you can pop it too. Like, it looks like it's a little like yellow or red right in the middle there. So that's where you would shoot it. Having the flash grenade is always the fastest way to take it out. It looks like Leon has the bolt action rifle on his back as well, which is really cool, and a little bit of a different knife on his chest. There is going to be multiple knives in this game. And that's another way that you're going to be able to switch out between knives as you go through. And you can beat the game with a knife only, which is pretty cool. So you could still do that. But yes, Parasites, good to see him back. And I'm sure we're going to see some more in a bit. This is another screenshot of Leon and Luis as Ashley is approaching them. It looks like there is a bookshelf right next to Leon and Luis. And that's probably what's going to barricade the window, or part of the barricade here. Maybe Ashley will actually lend a hand in this fight. Who knows? But I'm curious to see what breaks up this little altercation here, and I wonder how they're going to interact throughout this fight. And this is a screenshot of the tombstone in the cemetery with a crow in the middle. At least that's what it looks like. And we know they like to sit on the tombstones in the original, and you can shoot them for some treasure. I think this is still the case in this game. So another cool screenshot of the cemetery. And in some of these screenshots, they didn't show it as much as they did in the little snippet of gameplay that we got. I'm sure there's going to be more actually dropping as more articles and videos come out. So we'll see. We'll be able to look at that. But again, really cool. And the cemetery looks better than ever. This is a really cool screenshot here. We have the dog parasites here. It literally looks like it's coming out of its back. And it has a bunch of tentacles. And it looks vicious. Look at the teeth on that pupper right there. That is a angry motherfucker. And it looks like Leon has his TMP ready to go. It looks like he has a shotgun on his back. Now, the dogs do appear by the church when the rain starts coming down in the original. So it looks like they're popping up around the same spot, and it looks like they're in your path. I wonder if they're going to jump on Leon's face and just tear it to shreds like they do in the original, which is always a brutal animation. And I don't think they're going to steer away from the gore here. I think the enemies will still have pretty cool deaths that they can do on Leon, and there'll probably be a pretty big variety considering they have to kind of live up to those old death scenes here. We already heard about the chainsaw Ganado, Dr. Salvador, cutting Leon in half with the chainsaw, so we'll see how detailed and graphic they get. The dog kills are always graphic as well, and the parasites look better than ever coming out of the normal Ganados and, of course, even the dogs here. So I'm a fan of this. This thing looks badass. This is a really cool screenshot. This looks like a shot of the weapon management with the D-pad. Looks like Leon is chilling by a typewriter, which at this point we are assuming can be used with extra storage. And that is something that was in a detail about the additional weapons that are on the store, but we have yet to actually see screenshot or video of that. But it looks like Leon is packing some heat here. He's got the Red 9, which is my favorite handgun from Resident Evil. He's got the Shoddy, the TMP, and of course the pistol. And we have the bolt action rifle on the bottom. And it looks like we got frag grenades and incendiary grenades or flash grenades right next to it. So again, really nice. It looks like you can have the quick swap into 2 different slots and to have everything categorized where you can probably cycle around where you want it and how convenient you want it in your little quick pouch inventory. I like his TMP on the back. I like the fact that the weapons kind of change throughout, like what he actually has on his back and what he has wielded. Really cool stuff. Again, it's all been a work in progress with each Resident Evil remake and each sequel, and it looks like the inventory and the attaché case is going to be a nice updated and welcome return. Because we already saw it return in Village, and now it's just going to be expanded upon even more. So I like it. And here we have a screenshot of Leon with the pupper in the village here. So this is probably when you run back to the village with Ashley. As you can see, he's with her in the right corner, judging from the little character icons there in the corner. And yeah, it looks like the dogs look vicious. They look more floofy. They look more wolf-like than they ever have before. But I love the glowing eyes too. It's a nice little touch. And yeah, it's cool to see another screenshot of the dogs. And this screenshot right here is another one of the merchant. We haven't seen this one yet, but is another close-up of the merchant with his blue lantern and his blue flame. And he's ready to sell you some stuff, stranger. This is the new enemy. Brand new enemy. And this looks like it is Hammer with a bull face. That's all we're going to call him. Hammerman with bull face, or bull face, or bullshit. I don't know. But no, this is a brand new enemy that Capcom announced. They said there's also going to be more enemies like this. And this is really cool to see Leon and Luis also fighting together again. Because, again, this is just the cabin section from what I'm assuming. I don't know. This can also be another part in the village, but it looks very similar. You have all the stuff hanging from the ceiling. It looks pretty dark. And it looks like this guy is not fucking around. You can see he has like this vest. It looks like he has a bunch of goop on his stomach. And he has just a big ass hammer. The bull face though, that's what kind of looks creepy. There's something about like the animal masks, and obviously this is a real bull that it looks like he took its face and put it on as a mask. I think it looks creepy. I'm curious to see what the other enemies that they're adding in will look like. I'm sure they can add a bunch of island enemies and stuff that can be more like the experiments that we saw on the island with the Regenerators and the Iron Maidens, maybe more in that vein. But this does look pretty unsettling, so I will give it to them in the design department here, because I think the design looks really good. Now, how easy or how chunky of a boss this guy will be, not sure, but it looks like it's in the cabin section. So this is another screenshot of the bullface hammer guy, or whatever you want to call him. This is a more brighter screenshot. And it looks like he is outside in the village. It looks like he has a body that he smashed in half that's laying right next to him. So I can only imagine the death scenes we might get with this new enemy type. It looks like he has a rope tied around his mouth. Again, actually looks like they just took the whole head of a bull and it's on his face. Looks very crazy. It reminds me a little bit of the original Wicker Man, having the animal masks kind of forced on these Ganados. I like it. It's pretty cool. It looks like he's been lifting weights. I mean, he looks buff as hell if he's got to lift up that hammer. And I'm curious as to where he's going to appear in the game. Like I said earlier, he could easily be in the cabin section of the game, but it looks like he can be in more than just one section. So maybe this could be our stalker enemy, or an enemy that we see return. Not sure yet, because we do see Dr. Salvador return a bunch of times too. So there could be multiple mini bosses as we go through this game, which again would be cool and add some variety. Those are all the new screenshots from Resident Evil 4 from the new Game Informer issue. Let me know what you think in the comments down below of all the new and detailed screenshots. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe as the road to Resident Evil 4 Remake continues.